So unfortunately, it's become very toxic now to talk about what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. And there's almost no assertion that can be made without someone popping up out of the woodwork and saying, no, 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 that's a tanky talking point, or that's an imperialist talking point, or whatever. Even relatively uncontroversial statements like, Putin likes to play games with his aggression. It's like, who could possibly deny something like that? But someone is lying, and there is some truth, and I don't think we really know it. And unfortunately, what has become very toxic about discussing the Russia-Ukraine story is that any claim triggers someone into saying you are playing a role for X, Y, or Z side or perspective or enclave or whatever the case may be. This gets us to the latest news, which is, well, on the one hand, we were told that Vladimir Putin and Russia were pulling troops back from the Ukrainian border. That would be a great thing if it were true, making it less likely that there is going to be an invasion. Unfortunately, NATO and the US and Ukraine and others say not only is Russia not pulling back, they seem to actually be building up troops even further. Now, someone is lying. Both can't be true. And I guess theoretically, the way that you could have sort of some technical truth to both would be there has been some pullback in one area near the Ukrainian border with a buildup elsewhere, and then both sort of may be true. But the spirit of it, of course, is like overall, is Russia moving towards Ukraine or away from it? There's a new Reuters report which says West warns military buildup near Ukraine growing, not shrinking. That's very direct and very clear. Estonia says Russia likely to launch a limited attack. Russia releases video showing tanks leaving Crimea. Ukraine Defense Ministry hack worst of its kind, says government. And there's a question as to whether Russia is responsible for that hack. There's a growing Russian military presence at Ukraine's borders. Western countries warned on Wednesday, as Estonia said battle groups were moving ahead of a likely attack to occupy key terrain, contradicting Moscow's insistence of a pullback. More armored vehicles, helicopters, and a field hospital have been spotted, Britain's defense intelligence chief said in rare public comments. Up to 7,000 more troops have moved to the border in recent days, including some arriving on Wednesday, a senior official in Biden's administration said without providing evidence. So there are people who will say, we can't trust Biden, we can't trust NATO. Anything they say simply cannot be believed. They're just straight up lying. Obviously, Putin is pulling back from Ukraine. It doesn't seem obvious. And I think the other part of this situation that's gotten difficult, and this is just, if I sound bummed out, it's because I am, that this has now become almost like it's sort of like a Venezuela type situation for some on the revolutionary left, where there's this wing of the left that ends up, I mean, the right is totally gone cuckoo. I'm not even addressing them right now. But there's this wing of the left that ends up in their desire to always oppose American imperialism and American intelligence. They will end up supporting and defaulting to believing authoritarian strongmen around the world. And we saw this with Venezuela, where if you say, hey, the stated populist ideals of Chavez and now Maduro are just window dressing for authoritarianism and the pillaging of the country's resources for the gain of the elites. And on it, if you say that, you're an American imperialist. No, what did I say about wanting the U.S. involved in any way? I said nothing about that. But that's how you're branded. And unfortunately, if you say, hey, Putin's intentions may not be all on the up and up here, similar allegations fly. And unfortunately, or I don't even know if it's a question of fortune, but speaking realistically, we don't really know Vladimir Putin's intentions here. His intention may be to invade Ukraine. His intention may be not to invade Ukraine, but to goad the West into doing something which will give him a leg up in negotiating position in the future. Putin's intention may be to do this to rattle Western stock markets, which it has been doing. Like, if that were Putin's goal, it has succeeded. I do not think we really know. And what we do know from history is it's unclear why anyone would believe Putin absent real solid evidence. The video of tanks moving in one direction doesn't really tell us definitively what is going on. That video could be anything, could have been filmed anytime. It quite literally is of no value whatsoever. And we know that Trump believed Putin, right? Like when Putin told Trump, we didn't hack anybody, Trump immediately came out and said, listen, I asked him, did you hack us? And he was very strong in his denial, and I believe him. Okay, well, so we know Trump believed Putin. Most people don't believe Putin unless they have independently verified the things that Vladimir Putin is saying. So that's where we are. One last thing from DW. NATO fears Russia is seeking pretext to attack Ukraine. That's another idea, which is what Putin is doing is to cause Ukraine to do something which will then justify the invasion. And that's why we see the back and forth. So we're not going to know, maybe for another day, maybe for another week. We don't know. But anybody telling you this is the ultimate and definitive truth on what Putin intends to do, be skeptical of that. Be skeptical of that because we don't know. And anybody telling you, I mean, it's a very Trumpian thing, which we'll sometimes hear from those on the revolutionary left who say, I know the real thing. Anything else you're hearing can't be trusted. This is the one definitive explanation and analysis. Be skeptical of that. You will do well to remain skeptical of those such claims. I'm really excited that one of our sponsors today is Helix Sleep. I sleep on a Helix mattress at home. I absolutely love it. And that's why I reached out to them about sponsoring the David Pakman Show. Buying a mattress in the past was always a huge guessing game for me. I didn't know what I actually needed. I didn't know what I would like. But Helix has a sleep quiz on their website. You tell them your body type, your sleeping position, your back pain issues you might have, and their tool matched me with a mattress that is perfect for me. It's cool enough at night. It's the right firmness. I generally just do way better sleeping these days because of the mattress. Helix was awarded #1 best overall mattress for the last 2 years by both GQ and Wired magazine. It is well-deserved, I can tell you firsthand. Every Helix mattress comes with a 10-year warranty. You can try the mattress risk-free for 100 nights, and they will even come pick it up at your house if you don't love it, but I know you will. All of my viewers will get up to $200 off your order, and you'll get 2 super premium pillows for free when you go to the link right underneath this video.